What is going on, everyone? This is the Franz, and we are back again for our Monday Night Raw review, the Monday night after Mania 2018 on April 9th, actually, not 4th. We just had a good bit of call-ups. Looks like NXT is getting its annual raid for the main roster. We had tag team, a woman, and a single star, right? And a single star, which I think is going to go absolutely nowhere, but we'll see what happens. We had Ronda Rousey pretty much put Stephanie on the shelf, which is going to be one of the greatest things I think we've seen in a long time. We had the woken team of Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt have their first match together, which is great. We had the return of three guys. We had Jeff Hardy, Samoa Joe, and Bobby Lashley, of all people, which I think was spoiled earlier in the day. So, hey, by all means, whatever. So, this was an okay show. I mean, besides the call-ups, besides the return of Lashley and Jeff Hardy and Samoa Joe, with Samoa Joe cutting an excellent promo on Roman Reigns and telling the truth of everybody in the crowd that Roman Reigns is a failure. I will have that audio for you guys. You guys are going to love it because I did. It was just everything we've been saying about Roman Reigns for years. We also had the Miz pretty much challenge, well, Finn Balor and Seth Rollins agree to a one-on-one account, and then of course the Miz come out wanting to make it, say that he wants his rematch at Backlash. We had two matches pretty much confirmed for Backlash, but of course we do have the Superstar Shakeup starting next week on Monday. We have Monday and Tuesday next week. We'll see what happens with the Superstar Shakeup. I will have a video on Thursday for the Superstar Shakeup, having my own predictions of who's going to go to Raw and SmackDown respectively. Now, where to start this night? This night was, like I said, it was a mixed bag. We had a good bit of call-ups and returns. So Raw had a really strong show for that. But other than that, there really wasn't much to go to. I mean, we did have the tag team titles get relinquished. We'll get to that later. And not much else, really. I mean, we did have the Woken Wyatt, the Woken, whatever. I don't know what they're going to call themselves. It's going to be Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, which they're going to be a formidable tag team, and I think they will be the next tag team champions. Again, we'll get to that later. Let's just start this off right and get straight to what happened at the start of the show. The show started off with Stephanie McMahon coming out limping to the ring with her hurt arm pulled up in a brace. It wasn't a cast, it was a nice little brace, which I've never actually seen this brace before. So, definitely something different, but something for us to learn about, that this was just great. Everything the WWE fans have been asking for to happen to Stephanie McMahon happened the last two nights, and it worked so well. And it's another one of those, bye Stephanie, see you about Survivor Series when you always come back, it seems like. So, Stephanie McMahon comes out and gets put into an armbar by Ronda Rousey.
You might be saying you tapped out, but you have to admit last night at Wrestlemania, you were surprised. You were surprised. I mean, when you think about the performance of one woman in particular, there was a lot of speculation. Could she do it? Could she make that transition, right? And by God, I did make that transition. I was amazing, and I do deserve your accolades. Thank you. Thank you for your accolades. I deserve them. Thank you.
So, I guess being told you tapped out, which any real performer would sit there, especially a heel, which Stephanie is, trying to play up to the crowd like, hey, I tapped out, thank you for that. No.
Because I knew exactly what I was doing. I knew if I challenged Ronda Rousey in my world that I could bring out the best in her.
Oh,
that
really?
I could show the world what she was really made of. And that's exactly what I did last night. And I deserve that pat on the back, so thank you. But without further ado, I know that you want me to bring her out here right now.
Can Rousey, she's been here for 2 months. She should be over this, like, euphoria of, like, the crowd chanting her name. There was, of course, a video. I think she put out a statement, or someone asked her a question earlier today or late last night about the crowd, and she owed the WWE Universe an apology because she said she expected to be booed out of the building, shunned, and didn't expect the crowd to be in her favor. But Ronda Rousey, WWE booked her smart to get the crowd behind her by showing her training to get into getting ready for this match instead of just being like, here you go, here's Ronda Rousey. They actually did a good shot at booking her and showing her how hard she's worked to get here, and the WWE Universe appreciates that. And then, of course, she had her match last night and just blew out and obliterated all expectations. So Ronda really didn't have to apologize for anything, but she did. But she needs to knock off the smiling so much. Just no more of the smiling. You should be in Ronda kill mode all the time. Yes, the fans are going to cheer at you, but let them, like, don't do the whole wide open smile. If you have to, just the closed mouth, just smile. You don't have to be all like, oh my god, it's so overwhelming, even though you've been here for 2 months. Let the smiling go, Ronda. You don't need it.
I got beat by the best in the world, and I certainly don't feel bad about that. And Ronda, you know, as a WWE star under contract to me, that nowhere we can go. I mean, with her talent and my spotlight, man, we can blaze new trails that the world has never seen before. We can do it together. We really can. I can put the entire WWE machine behind you. All of that muscle, all of that reach, all of these people. If with me in your corner, they will all support our message. So I think that I would...
Of course, they would cut it out because this is typical WWE, and it is their YouTube page, so they don't want to have this out there. But the crowd immediately, as she's saying this, are chanting bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. And before she gets to say anything else, they start saying, shut the fuck up, because nobody wanted to hear Stephanie talk anymore. And after what happens next, I don't think we will on TV for about 6 or 7 months. How long is it until Survivor Series? Let's see, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. So about 7 months we won't see her again.
Just have to say one more thing. Give it up for my friend, WWE's Rowdy Ronda Rousey!
They shake hands. Rousey goes in and gives her a hug. Crowd's booing the holy hell out of it because they're like, oh, she's just going to become her friend. Yeah, she says something and then Ronda loses the smile, grabs her hand, puts it on her neck, and then transitions it into a armbar. So that was the end of that. So it's like, again, they said, bye-bye Stephanie till about Survivor Series, where you showed up last year after being put through a table, which should have just had to come back like 2 weeks later. This time she actually has her arm screwed up. It looked like definitely keeps Ronda strong. Now the question when it comes to Ronda Rousey is what's next? Will she be there next week? She's not going anywhere. She's going to be on Raw. They're not going to send her to SmackDown after all that. What are they going to do next for Ronda Rousey? I don't know. Now, the thing about it is, after Ronda Rousey heads back, they turn the music off, and they go back to Stephanie McMahon on the apron, being helped with her arm wrapped up and everything. She's coming out, and you hear, na, 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 na. They first chanted, you deserve it, while she was on the apron. As soon as she gets down, they start chanting, na, 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 hey, goodbye. They get towards the ramp, and they actually made JoJo say, can we please get a little respect for Stephanie McMahon? Crowd boos heavily. There was no fucking reason to have JoJo even say that. Just no reason at all. Then, of course, we go to commercial break, and the first thing that they show is that next week we will have our Superstar Shakeup. So, again, I will have a video out on Thursday with my predictions of who's going to Raw, who's going to SmackDown. There was talk about rumors that there's going to be a lot of call-ups from NXT. We did have 3 tonight overall, and that most of those call-ups might come at the Superstar Shakeup. They did not make it sound like there was going to be any from Raw, from NXT this time around. Just something for us to think about. Then we had Nia Jax and a partner versus Mickie James and Alexa Bliss. Nia Jax comes out first. I'm like, okay, who's she going to be partnering with? Next thing you know, Alexa Bliss and Mickie James come out, and Alexa Bliss calls Nia Jax a bully, and then fat shames her. So I'm like, you're just contradicting yourself, calling her a bully, and then you go right away and then you start fat shaming her. Like, what the fuck? So let me see if I can get this. Let's see. We have a new debut on Raw from this segment.
Nia took advantage, and she beat up Mickie James for no reason. I was completely distraught.
Really? Because you didn't look distraught at all for the majority of that match. You looked like a scared little bitch.
That's why I lost last night. And when I saw Nia
Former champion... Okay, what's the cliche here? It's former champion, makes excuse, why they lost, cliche. There you go.
My best friend Mickie James, I was competing under emotional distress. And yeah, I'm sure you loved every second of it, Nia, because everyone knows deep down you're cold as ice. And that's why you don't...
Quite honestly, I think Nia Jax would probably be one of the nicest women in the locker room over everybody. Just saying.
Have a partner tonight.
Shut up, Alexa.
Yeah,
I do have a partner.
Ember
Ember Moon!
Moon was the first of 3 call-ups tonight, so awesome to see Ember Moon. I wish they would have had Izzy Harrell back again or Lizzie Harrell, whatever the hell you say her name, from Hailstorm to play her to the ring. Again, that would have just been epic, but great to see Ember Moon make her Raw debut. And the thing about it is, all 3 call-ups pretty much had proverbial squash matches. This one lasted a little bit longer than the other 2, but hey. Yes, when she did, and this is the thing before we get back to that, when Alexa Bliss came out, she actually got the asshole chance. There was actually asshole chance from her for this because, you're going to contradict yourself by saying, hey, you're a bully, but let me fat shame you. Just bad writing. With this Superstar Shakeup, I'm hoping Alexa Bliss goes back to SmackDown. Take Mickie James with you because I know she's been champion twice on SmackDown and twice on Raw, and quite honestly, I don't want to see who hold the championship again. Now, Ember Moon being added to Raw is a positive. It makes the Raw title picture, the Raw women's division, a lot better than it was 24 hours ago. We did, and hopefully with what happened tonight, Absolution is 100% done for, and those 2 will be off doing their own thing. We will get to that later. So, thumbs up to the first addition to Raw for them. We did have Ember Moon win the match. She got Ember Moon chant immediately. Jax and James, Mickie James and Alexa Bliss couldn't tell which one they wanted to go for. So Nia Jax goes over, grabs James by the boobs, actually, it looked like, and just threw her across the ring. Gets a little bit more offense on her. Then Mickie James gets to the knee or the leg that Alexa Bliss worked on last night. And then, of course, Alexa Bliss tags in. They start working on Nia's leg, but Jax grabs them both and takes out Bliss. She grabs James. She still has a hold of James. She's playing up the crowd. Oh, do you want to see her? Do you want to see her? Tags in Ember Moon. And she goes to town on James, then Bliss. NXT chant in the crowd. So, Well, of course, 2 nights ago, NXT had the best show of the week, in my opinion. Well, for WWE, I didn't see Supercard of Honor, so let me know how that went. Ember Moon hits the Eclipse on the former champion, and 1, 2, 3, Ember Moon and Nia Jax wins. Again, all 3 call-up matches were relatively short, which, in my opinion, was okay. I guess Ember Moon did have a little bit more of a longer match than the other 2 call-ups, which one of those I understand why, because of just who they are. In the back, Angle was talking about Ember Moon, and he was on the phone talking about Ember Moon and saying that's not all the night. When Strowman walks in, I believe we have that video. Yes, we do. Strowman walks in, and him and his tag team partner have something to say to Kurt Angle.
That can spark the women's division need. Superstar shakeup maybe next week.
Yeah, he is kind of right. Ember Moon does give the Raw Women's Division a much-needed spark. With the Superstar Shakeup next week, I don't know who Raw is going to get for who, but I have a feeling I know who's going to. I have a feeling right now I know who's going to SmackDown somewhat than I do what's going to Raw. I'll have more of a thought of that tomorrow for SmackDown.
Raw roster is getting better tonight. Ember she's not the only. Can I call you back? Congratulations on last night. Your partner was the surprise. But I guess I should have known that. By the way, where is he? He was right here, Kurt. He's been here the whole time. Oh, hey, there he is.
Well, honestly, and this is surprising, Nicholas Cone has a huge reaction. Better reaction. This little 10-year-old kid is more over than Roman Reigns and Vince McMahon wishes Roman was. This is the sad thing about this. A 10-year-old kid has a bigger reaction than Roman Reigns as a babyface has ever gotten. Let that sink into you for a moment.
It pains me to even think about this, much less say it. We're relinquishing the Raw Tag titles.
I didn't like that one.
Nicholas has a scheduling conflict. I mean, he's still in the 4th grade. But I can promise you one thing. As soon as he's done with school, we're coming back for those.
Somebody's going to get these hands!
Oh, I'm sure Vince McMahon is fuming on the inside that a 10-year-old kid in 24 hours was one of the most over guys, one of the most over people at WrestleMania and night after WrestleMania. Like, literally. Next to Daniel Bryan, he was over in a huge way. And he's 10! He's 10! This dude, I don't even know what to say about it. I mean, I'm not a big fan of what they did. And here's the thing, if Nicholas comes back in, June, I think, when school ends for most people, June. If Nicholas is back in June, and that's June, July, August, they could have a tag team title run that long. And then, of course, at the beginning of August, they lose the titles, whatever. Wow. So, the fact that a kid who's 10 years old, and yes, Kurt Angle takes a shot at I hope they have it on here. I hope they have it on here because that was, no, it doesn't look like, oh, that's a bummer. Yeah, it looks like they don't have that one on here, and I think that's a mistake. But Nicholas was the most over guy in the night who wasn't a call-up. Then we had the new Adam Rose make his debut. No Way Jose. And I will tell you this now. I'm not a fan of No Way Jose at all. He screwed Adam Rose, the new Adam Rose in NXT. The new Adam Rose in NXT. Now, he comes up and has a conga line of people. Most of those are probably plants, people from NXT, and like people we haven't seen from the Performance Center and their family in the conga line. Yeah, I don't see this being any better than we saw for Adam Rose. Adam Rose came up to WWE a number of years ago. I think it was 2014 because he was one of the first few people to make a re-debut because he was what's his name down in NXT? Leo Kruger. That's right, Leo Kruger. Which I like the name Leo Kruger in NXT. He made his re-debut as Adam Rose the first night, or they had a promo the first night they put NXT on the WWE Network, and then he was up on Monday Night Raw the night after WrestleMania, and somebody in the creative in the back pretty much obliterated him verbally in the whole character and all, and that character never saw any success. And of course, that gave us the Bunny. Anybody remember Adam Rose and the Bunny? So yeah, we're gonna have something like that with this guy eventually, and No Way Jose will go absolutely fucking nowhere. It's just a dead gimmick, and it's not gonna work at all on the main roster. I give it a month, and it'll just be dead. He beat some jobber in like a minute. So, yeah. Oh, I wish they had this on here, but it doesn't look like they do. The Bar were in the back now, wanting their tag team titles handed to them. Kurt Angle's like, you really think I'm going to just hand you your titles back? You two lost to a freaking 10-year-old. And, yeah, he says, okay, we're going to have a tag team eliminator. He called it a tag team eliminator. Who the fuck wrote this shit? A tag team eliminator, where it's going to be 4 tag teams in 2 matches, which I love the fact that they went with 2 matches, even though it was just, jobber, and new tag team. Jobber team, and new tag team, which is obviously the team who should win the whole thing in 2 matches instead of having a fatal 4-way tag team match, which, that's how WWE likes to do things at the time. Why do they book this for the tag team division, but they don't do this for a regular regular singles match? I mean, usually for a singles title, if they have like 4 contenders, like we're going to have a ladder match, which I'm not complaining about in Saudi Arabia, and that time we don't have it. We have it set up as they'll go, well, we want to see who's going to go to, say, Backlash to face the Intercontinental Champion if Miz wasn't getting his rematch. We're going to take Jeff Hardy. We're going to take Seth Miz, Finn Balor. We're going to take Samoa Joe. We're going to take this person, that person, that person. Have a 6-pack challenge, and the winner goes to Backlash. That's what they do. Or they go, we're going to have 2 fatal 4-ways. Those guys are going to face each other in a singles match, and then, this I liked because it was just one. It was team on team and then team on team, and the winner of those go to next week with the winners going to Saudi Arabia to take on the Bar. The winners will become the new tag team champions. Now, a lot of people were saying, oh, WWE spoiled WrestleMania for the Bar versus Braun Strowman and his tag team partner because the Bar faced the Hardys. Well, the Hardys are not happening because Jeff Hardy is not going to be with his brother. It's going to be the Bar, and I'm calling it now, the Bar versus Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy, plain and simple. The other 3 teams are irrelevant, plain and simple. So, moving on here. We come back from commercial break, and there's a match going on. The Revival, and Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows in a tag team match, in the tag team eliminator match. The winner of this will go on to next week to take on the winner of the later match. And the Revival won in a match no one really cares about, honestly. I didn't care about it. It was just one of those matches that really didn't matter. So then we had Seth Rollins come out for his promo time and set up a 6-man tag, pretty much sets up a 6-man tag match later in the night.
After that match last night, I can finally say, Seth freaking Rollins is back, baby! Dude, you guys are wild, man. You're a bunch of fun. I gotta admit, Grand Slam Rollins kind of has a nice ring to it.
Coming to WWE Shop in the near future, Grand Slam Rollins. Make sure you get that t-shirt because whenever when a catchphrase like that comes out of somebody's mouth, it gets put on the t-shirt. We have Monday Night Rollins, we have Get These Hands, and a couple other ones. I'm surprised Biscuit Butt didn't get on a t-shirt, but let's not go there. Don't be shocked if we see Seth Rollins on Monday Night Raw next week wearing his t-shirt that says Grand Slam Rollins. Like, seriously.
Congratulations, man. You deserve it.
Finn Balor joins.
You know, you were the better man last night. But last night was a triple threat match. There was a winner. There was a loser.
He points to the back to the
And
backstage
there was this
area.
guy. Left wanting more. So, I came out here to tell you that I want to be the first person to step up and challenge you for that, the Intercontinental Championship.
Of course, the Miz comes out to ruin everything.
Not deserve it. I do. I made that title the most prestigious and relevant title in all the WWE.
Sounds like he says prestigious and irrelevant, but you can tell if you listen to it the right way, he says relevant. No, Miz, no, you didn't. You did absolutely nothing with the championship. Couldn't win a match without the Miz Taraj, and last night proved that.
He's owed nothing. You lost. You go to the back of the line. Me, I'm owed a rematch for the Intercontinental Championship.
And of course, they cut this out too. He did say, I'm a new man. I sent Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel to the back so I could prove, so there would be no excuses when I beat you. Seth was like, wait a minute, did you just say that you can't win a match without the Miz Taraj? You know, all that good stuff.
Actually, no, I didn't forget. I was just waiting for you to bring it up. I was hoping you'd come out here and mention it. If you'd like to invoke your rematch clause, why don't we do it right here, right now?
You want me to invoke my rematch clause? You want to see that match right here, right now? No. I am in a custom suit, and I will invoke my rematch clause when I want to invoke my rematch clause. And I would like, I would like to invoke my rematch clause at Backlash.
Yeah, so you're going to get another match after you face him, Finn Balor, and Samoa Joe, who I think should be replaced by the next man who comes out in a fatal four-way ladder match in 3 weeks in Saudi Arabia. How and why?
Here's a lesson for the both of you. When you negotiate from a position of strength. If you guys want a match tonight, the three of us can take on the two of you.
Looks like we're going to get a nice little fight right here with these 2 3-on-2, but
Well, Balor and Rollins are ready to fight to take on Miz.
Jeff Hardy's music hits. It's great to see Jeff back after months and months away. So Jeff Hardy joins the party, and yes, I did say that right. Jeff Hardy is back, and I hope that, I know they advertised it, Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, The Miz, and Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental title in a fatal four-way ladder match at Saudi Arabia's Greatest Royal Rumble. But you need to take Samoa Joe out of that match and put him somewhere else on that card in the Rumble himself and put Jeff Hardy in that ladder match. It is a freaking ladder match, and you can't go wrong without Jeff Hardy in a ladder match. Doesn't matter who's in it. If you have Jeff Hardy, it's going to be something special. And so I don't know how The Miz is going to be able to work that out, but okay. The Miz, it looks like it's going to be a 3-on-3 battle. They've done the Miz Taraj battle and leaves Jeff Hardy with Finn Balor and Seth Rollins just hanging. Go to commercial break, come back. They say Kurt Angle made the match. The Miz Taraj and Miz Axel and Dallas versus Jeff Hardy. Great to see him back again. Finn Balor and Seth Rollins later in the night. That is your main event. Next up was Mandy Rose versus Sasha Banks. The match was nothing special. Bayley came out right before the match started. She's out here. She comes out, does her normal entrance, and then she's like, "Oh, hey, I'm just here to watch your back." That didn't come. That didn't come to bite Sasha Banks in the ass. Sasha Banks, of course, didn't look happy. Fans honestly did not give two fucks about this match, not because of Sasha Banks. Nobody gives a fuck about Mandy Rose, and the fact that WWE keeps pushing this absolution thing on really doesn't help out Mandy Rose or Sonya Deville. And I think that has finally come to the end tonight, and we'll get to that in a second. Banks taunts Bayley, which cost her at this time because she was in control, and Mandy Rose takes over. Rose, the match comes to an end pretty much. Rose on the outside with Sasha Banks. She goes over to Bayley, shoves her. Ref's dealing with Sonya Deville, so this wouldn't have been a DQ at all. She goes to clothesline Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose moves. She hits Sasha Banks. Banks gets back up. Banks is like, "What the hell are you doing?" She's like, "I'm sorry, I really meant to hit Mandy Rose." She's like, "Whatever." Gets in the ring and eats a knee to the face. 1, 2, 3, and Mandy Rose beats Sasha Banks. So, Bayley, of course, is like pretty much upset with herself because she made that mistake of hitting Sasha Banks when she meant to hit Mandy Rose. This is going to lead to the tension between these two. This is a slow burn. And she leaves. Banks is not happy. Then the big moment of the night for me was this, and it was Paige finally making the announcement that should have been made, what wasn't made until now. And now, after listening to it, I understand why she waited till now, and it made sense why to do it tonight. So, Paige gives an emotional retirement speech tonight, and
know this, some of you don't though, so I have to come clean to you guys. It was really hard for me to sit at the sidelines yesterday at Wrestlemania. I love this ring. I was born to be in this ring. This is my heart, this is my soul, and this is my blood. But unfortunately, due to neck injuries, I can no longer perform as an in-ring competitor. This is one of the hardest things I'll ever have to say in my entire career.
Big thank you, Paige.
I would like to thank every single female superstar back there today. I am proud to be a part of this division. We have all built this division to be huge, into something we didn't imagine it could ever be. So thank you, ladies backstage right now. I'd love to obviously thank my family, because without them I wouldn't be here today. But I want to thank Daniel Bryan, he came back from a career-ending injury yesterday at Wrestlemania and had his first match back, and for that you give me hope.
I'm sorry, Paige, before we get into the rest of it, because this is a very good speech, but unfortunately, Paige, your hope should not be there. For the fact is, you have neck injuries. Daniel Bryan had concussion problems. There is two totally different injuries. Edge won't be able to be cleared. She's not going to be able to be cleared. I hope that her hope is not that high because of the differentiation, the different type of injuries.
He's been here today and he spoke to me backstage.
Of the two people in the wrestling business to talk to and have any kind of conversation for these type of injuries, Edge and Stone Cold Steve Austin are the two people to talk to, because they've been there and they know what happened, what she should do after your wrestling career ends due to this injury.
He showed me that there's life outside of this. He has a family, he has kids, he has a wife, he has an acting career. And as much as that hurts me to say this, now I'm going to have to go find something else.
Just get a podcast like most retired wrestlers. Why not?
I want to thank WWE for letting me do and entertain every single one of you for the past 4 years. New Orleans 4 years ago is where I debuted and won the Divas Championship. And 4 years later, New Orleans is where I want to retire. So I want to say thank you, every single one of you. Thank you all so much. I love you all. And yes, this will always be my house.
Dexter puts the mic down, had a t-shirt of hers, and just lays it in the ring, and she leaves what will probably be for the final time. She wants to do something, like I said, go get a podcast. Everybody, like, Edge and Christian have one, Stone Cold has one, JR has one, Melina Garcia has one, Bruce Pritchard has one, which is coming to the WWE Network in the near future. So there's something for her to do. She can give out her words of wisdom. Michael Cole said she had a short career, but that was only in the WWE. Paige has been wrestling for about 13 years in her career. She's been around since she was a teenager in wrestling, so it's really not a... it sucks to see anyone lose their career because of injury, but when it comes to Paige, when it came to Edge, like, having to retire in 2011, I was more saddened for Edge because of everything he's been through for that company and the fact that he, like, had to retire before he wanted to. So I was a lot more saddened for that compared to Paige because of the year before, from her getting injured in 2016 to her return in 2017. She was not a really good person. She was in a bad place. She was with Alberto El Retard. We'll have news with him on Unscripted this week and what has happened to him this past weekend. So we'll talk about that later. But she was in a bad place, and she let this guy pretty much talk shit about the company she was with. She pretty much just stood by while he got drunk off his ass and was an embarrassment to the wrestling business while she was with him. So, and the pictures of her letting a guy come all over the fucking NXT Women's Championship and pretty much degrading that title. She did not, like, for a good year of her life and of her career, she pretty much just destroyed a lot of her credibility. So, seeing her retire, it sucks to see someone lose their career due to injury, but it's not as sad to see Paige go because she really, like, the problem with Paige was her career in WWE pretty much took a nosedive the day WrestleMania 32 when Lita pulled that veil up and there was the Women's Championship when we only had one at the time. Her entire character was the anti-diva. Her entire character was not to fit the mold of this generation of women. WWE never let her change who she was. She was gone. She injured her neck. She was gone for a year. She let Alberto El Retard make a fool of her and himself, and then she comes back, gets this Absolution group, which I'm pretty sure Mandy Rose or Sonya Deville will stay on Raw, and the other one go to SmackDown, so we can split that group up. We'll see what happens there. I will have my predictions on Thursday, as we said. So, again, it sucks to see Paige go, and I wish her the best, but it's not as much of a loss as it would be for anyone else. Before we go any further, there was no John Cena tonight. There was no Undertaker. None of that stuff. They just talked about it. Michael Cole and Jonathan Coachman and Corey Graves just talked about it. There was no answer from John Cena. There was nothing. And a lot of people were expecting to see some kind of response from John Cena tonight, and there wasn't. He did tweet out a video of him playing the piano, which Matt Hardy tweeted, "Wonderful," too. So, but we didn't hear from John Cena, and I find that surprising. Will we see him tomorrow? I doubt it. Will we see him next week? I don't know. He's supposed to face Triple H in Saudi Arabia, and I would like to see them have some kind of follow-up to this Undertaker beatdown that he had at WrestleMania before Saudi Arabia. So I don't know what's going to happen, but we'll have to wait and see. I'll talk about Brock Lesnar and all that stuff when we get to the Roman Reigns stuff later. Then we had another return.
In 1 year, I have become the biggest musical act on the face of this planet.
Well, speaking of that, this time last year, Elias was a guy that nobody gave a flying fuck about. He was down in NXT. Nobody cared about him. He didn't really do nothing. He just walked around with a guitar, didn't do anything. He was the drifter. He just drifted from town to town, as they said. He comes up, and in 1 year, in about 1 year's time, he is one of the most over acts in the company. My dad doesn't like him, and people in his generation doesn't like him, but this guy is just fucking great at what he does. And tonight is one of those nights that wasn't Elias's night in the end.
But it was interrupted by... Well, it is the night after WrestleMania. Bizarro crowd. Like Barcelona against Real Madrid. Now listen. Tonight, granted, I understand it's essentially the same unappreciative crowd full of scumbags from last night.
Only Elias would actually get a crowd of 14,000 people to actually chant "We are scumbags" on Monday Night Raw. And they did it out of the YouTube version, so I commend WWE for that.
Well, I'm glad you can finally admit it, because right now, I need you all to silence your cell phones, hold your applause, and shut your mouth! From Mania, the whole world gathers round. Every God-forsaken city and trashy town. Travel near and far to come to this place. But as you all clap, I want to punch you in the face.
Bobby Lashley has returned. And he's back to his old ways. I'm not gonna take this one down because it just started tonight. They have a nice little stare-off. You get a welcome back chant.
Welcome back indeed.
Oh.
I wouldn't do that, Elias. Neckbreaker from Lashley. You're about to see power on
And he just holds him up in a suplex position for a good second or two. Playing up to the crowd. Spins him around a little bit. I was like, we're going to get a jackhammer? No, we're going to get a suplex. And that was all you got from Bobby Lashley. Now, I will talk about more about why the rumors of why Lashley was brought back when we get to Roman Reigns later. In the back, and they do not have this clip, and it does not surprise me because I think Vince McMahon had Kurt Angle commit a cardinal sin tonight just for the sake of pop from the WWE Universe. They do not have the clip, which is sad by all means because this was fucking just like one of the craziest things I think I've heard. Owens and Zayn show up talking to Kurt Angle. They want a job because of what happened last night. Kurt Angle's like, you wanted to get a job here because but didn't you guys get fired for beating up your commissioner and your general manager? And he doesn't want anything to do with them. So he's like, I'm sorry, my tag team division is full, but I heard TNA is hiring. I was like, whoa, and the crowd was like, oh shit. Vince McMahon, here's the thing, that wasn't going off script, that wasn't anything else. Vince McMahon allowed Kurt Angle to actually name drop a company that doesn't even go by that name anymore. That's probably why it was actually able to be name dropped, actually, is because they don't even use TNA as a name anymore. But to hear that on WWE television in 2018, I mean, this is the same company that did a video package of AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura last night that had AJ Styles with a picture of him as the NWA champion and of him doing a phenomenal forearm to Bully Ray in TNA. So it shouldn't surprise me, but yet it still surprised me because WWE doesn't even let them talk about New Japan. They just say Japan. And the Tokyo Dome, they don't ever say New Japan. So the fact that Kurt Angle, out of anybody, got to say TNA on Monday Night Raw. So he says, well, my tag team division's full. TNA is hiring. Big shock reaction from the crowd, which of course you would be. Says, okay, I have one spot open, and you guys will have to fight it out tonight. The winner gets a contract with Monday Night Raw. We'll get to that match later. Stagger and Rhino come out. One is like, man, it sucks we're not in this tag team eliminator. We should be because we were the first ever SmackDown Live tag team champions. Oh yeah, well nobody remembers that because you were SmackDown Live tag team champions for a cup of coffee. Cup of coffee. So yeah, unless you actually remember. And your tag team title reign was irrelevant as it is. That storyline was just stupid as hell, in my opinion. Anyway, they call out a team, and the team to answer was the Authors of Pain, who bring out, of course, they come out with Paul Ellering. Big squash match, typical Authors of Pain match. They hit the last chapter, 1, 2, 3. They were leaving. Ellering looks like he's coming with them. Akam and Razor stop and like, no, not with us. They left Paul Ellering hanging, and he just stayed back as they go up the ramp. They pretty much just kicked Paul Ellering to the curb. Yes, there was talk about would Paul Ellering want to continue to have the travel or being on the road 52 weeks a year. I don't think he would actually have to be there for the on the house shows, but speaking of the Authors of Pain, they looks like we have a backstage segment from after they closed the book on Paul Ellering, as it says. Let's see what the Authors of Pain say.
Czar, congratulations on your Monday Night Raw debut and your victory. That's not what everybody's talking about right now. It's the fact that you left your mentor, Paul Ellering, at the ring. What was that about?
This is not about Paul. This is about how we just destroyed the first ever SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions, AOP and Paiges. What are you guys doing? What is in your mind? I developed the strategy for winning the Dusty Rhodes Classic. I developed the plans to win the NXT Tag Team Championships. What are you thinking? Paul, it's not about you. Your chapter has ended in NXT. Na in a tag team, mată răzicșăm din WWE.
So they just kicked Paul Ellering to the curb 100%. I don't know about that. I think that's just going to be to the downfall in the end. I could be totally wrong, but quite honestly, those are your three call-ups, the AOP, Ember Moon, and No Way Jose. No Way Jose is dead on arrival, plain and simple. He's going to go absolutely fucking nowhere. Ember Moon should be the shot of adrenaline Monday Night Raw means, especially with the Superstar shakeup and where I think certain people are going to go. And she's going to hopefully help the Raw Women's Division, but as we've seen with Asuka after WrestleMania, Alexa Bliss, Bayley, Sasha Banks, and everybody else, Nia Jax until last night, you just become just like everybody else when your Mystique is dead and your specialness is dead, and Ember Moon is just going to take one bad booking decision, one bad match, where she will just become like everybody else. Authors of Pain, same thing. Will they end up becoming the Raw version of what the Ascension was back in the day, where they, or like the Revival was this full year, where they come in, other than the injuries, where they come in with all this hot momentum, when all their injuries get fixed up, they get squashed at Raw 25 and made to look like losers. So, what will happen with the AOP, that is yet to be determined. But losing Paul Ellering like that, I'm not agreeing with it, but we'll have to wait and see. I hope they actually do end up, I say SummerSlam is when they should win the tag team titles, give them that big moment on a big stage. Keep them doing other things while I say Hardy and Wyatt are going to win this entire tag team thing that they're doing in Saudi Arabia, but we'll get to that in a bit. Now, we're going to talk about Brock Lesnar because Roman Reigns is out. And to any fucking idiotic moron, because some dumbass was talking, someone posted something about Roman Reigns last night. I think it was JD or Cultaholic. I can't remember which one, but they posted a tweet about the match last night, or that Roman Reigns getting another title match, and some dumbass was like, the blood was fake. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Did you not see those elbows from Brock Lesnar? They're like, did you see the match? The blood was a blood capsule Roman Reigns used on his head. I'm like, no, motherfucker. Roman Reigns has 10 or 12 stitches in his fucking head, and as you saw tonight, he had 12 sutures and 10 staples in his fucking head. So any motherfucker who thought that was a blood capsule, and by the way, if you watch the match, Roman Reigns got hit a couple times with an elbow and just laid there looking like he was dead. He didn't have time to go up and put a blood capsule in his head to make him look like he was bleeding. That was real blood, motherfucker. Even Mick Foley, who is a hardcore legend who has lost countless buckets of blood, could attest to the fact that Roman Reigns lost a lot of blood last night. So to any motherfucker who wants to sit there and say that blood was fake, you're an idiot and you don't know what wrestling is, because that was hard way. Go ask Randy Orton what hard way is, because I'm guaranteeing you he would attest to Roman Reigns got busted open hard way last night. And anybody, I would not fuck with Brock Lesnar with those elbows, because those elbows are lethal, and he does not pull when he hits an elbow. He's probably going to bust somebody up again next time. Now, we all wondered last night why. Why did Brock Lesnar win the Universal retain his Universal Championship? He's supposed to be on. He's supposed to be going back to the UFC. Dana White last Wednesday said he's coming back. Well, Brock Lesnar today, it was announced by Vince McMahon. It wasn't reported. Vince McMahon himself announced it, that Brock Lesnar re-signed with the WWE. And in Saudi Arabia, in a steel cage match, Roman Reigns will get a rematch for the Universal Championship. Why? He got beat clean. There was no shenanigans. There was no chicanery. Why the fuck is Roman Reigns even warranted a Universal Championship match? He got beat last night. Clean as a fucking whistle. Someone please explain to me how Roman Reigns is even warranted a Universal Championship match again? Oh, because Vince McMahon has to get off U.S. soil to hope and pray that Roman Reigns will get the cheer reaction that he wants more than anything. I guarantee you that's the only reason they're doing this. Sacrifice built 3 fucking years for this match at WrestleMania to have Brock Lesnar win decisively, mind you, 6 F5s. Roman Reigns really only got 4 spears in, that was about it. 6 X5s and like 4 or 5 suplexes. No Paul Heyman or anything of that tonight, by the way. But Roman Reigns comes out in jeans. Jeans, tennis shoes, and a Roman Reigns t-shirt that was cut off. So, let me get this straight, and this is something else that was bothering me about this. Roman Reigns gets suspended a couple weeks back. Roman Reigns gets suspended. Okay. So, the next week, Roman Reigns comes out in his Shield gear completely. His wrestling boots, his wrestling gear, the only thing he was missing was his gloves. But tonight, he comes out in boots and tennis shoes, actual tennis shoes, and regular jeans. He's not suspended, he's actually there now normally, and yet he comes out in street clothes. Does somebody not know how to dress Roman Reigns when he's suspended and when he's actually working? So, yeah, that made no sense to me. Samoa Joe makes his debut here and tells the truth about Roman Reigns, and to any Roman mark out there, listen to Samoa Joe. Because every fucking thing that he says about Roman Reigns is 100% the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. And swallow your pride, because this was exactly what every fucking real fan who knows that Roman Reigns is a failure has been saying for 4 fucking years.
I got to the Superdome, everything fell off. The way people looked at me, the whispers behind my back, but the thing that eats me up the most is the fact that Vince McMahon himself couldn't even look me in the eye and smarten me up. So I don't know what's going on, but I do know this. Brock Lesnar is one hell of a businessman. Because on Wednesday, word got out he was going back to the UFC.
By the way, his new WWE contract is a multi-year deal, so Brock Lesnar is going absolutely nowhere. And it will allow him to go fight for the UFC. He will have 1 match this year because he has to go into the USADA pool for the next 6 months, which I'm sure he is going to enter in the next month or so. And then, of course, he'll fight towards the end of the year. And then, of course, next year we'll have 2 fights at least, probably. If nothing goes wrong.
Today, WWE released that he signed a new contract. And apparently I have another match with him in a steel cage that I had no clue about until I found out on the internet.
And someone explained to me why he's complaining about getting a rematch for the Universal title. That's not someone who seems like they're excited about having a title match. It sounds like somebody who's complaining that this guy who just kicked my ass last night, I get another crack at in a steel cage. So, tell me how this is going to get Roman Reigns to be a babyface, because it's not working at all. Another reason I know is, like, yes, Brock Lesnar signed the contract, saved Vince McMahon from having his quote-unquote babyface that he wants to be a babyface, having the same reaction he got last year after he beat The Undertaker. That's another reason that no one seems to talk about why they sacrificed all 4 fucking years to have this guy lose at WrestleMania, because he knew if Roman Reigns came out after WrestleMania, he would have had a 10 times worse reaction than he did last year. There would have been no cheers, just boos. He got boos last night. The only time Roman even got any cheers was when he said he got his ass kicked.
So I don't know what the plan is here. I don't know what they're scheming up. I don't know what the story is behind this, but I do know this. If they continue to put me in matches with Brock Lesnar, the story will end with me becoming the Universal Champion.
There's a mic down. Looks like he's about ready to leave.
Let's break out the tinfoil hats, because Roman thinks there's a conspiracy.
Samoa Joe. Man, I've missed this guy.
Well, allow me to bring you back to reality, because you see, last night, Brock Lesnar didn't just beat you, no, he exposed you. For over a year, whispers you heard, no matter how many eyes couldn't meet you, you failed. And that makes you a failure.
Yes. Somebody says it.
And you know what else it makes you, Roman? It makes you a liar. You
Hold on.
lied to these fans. You lied to your family. You lied to yourself. In fact, you're still lying because you can't face the facts that every time Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar get in a ring together, you get jacked up. You get put through tables. You get carted out on a stretcher. You get broken, and Brock Lesnar gets richer. And no matter how many times we tell this story, trust me, it's gonna be the same thing. When the big dog meets the beast conquers you, and you come out here making excuses why it happened. But I'm there. Good tidings and good news that the vicious cycle will end. Because after Brock Lesnar is done ragdolling you across that cage and you fail once again, I'll be waiting at Backlash to put you to sleep.
Oh yeah, by the way, as he said, you're a failure. I knew they were going to cut it out because WWE doesn't want people to say Roman Reigns is a failure. But everybody in the crowd was chanting, you're a failure, you're a failure, you're a failure. So, yeah. Vince McMahon, if you're trying to get Roman Reigns to be a babyface, you are not doing your job right. Vince McMahon again shows why he should be taken out to pasture when it comes to being in charge of WWE, because Samoa Joe just cut the babyface promo of a century. This guy just eviscerated Roman Reigns, and to anybody who thinks that Roman Reigns is the only person who can compete with Brock Lesnar, Samoa Joe just showed you why that is not the case. Plain and simple. Roman Reigns, so it looked like it sounded like Samoa Joe is like, it doesn't matter if Brock Lesnar wins or Brock Lesnar loses. He's going to face Roman Reigns at Backlash, no matter if Roman Reigns wins the Universal Championship or not. And now, the big rumor going around why they brought back Bobby Lashley and why it feels like Roman Reigns is not going to win in Saudi Arabia is because at Backlash, it will be Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley for the Universal Championship. So yes, Brock Lesnar was kept around because Vince McMahon sees him as a big draw, and quite honestly, he is. He is the biggest draw they have. And let that sink into you, and sink in for a second. The biggest draw in WWE right now is a guy who wrestles 5 times a year. Not Roman Reigns. I guess Daniel Bryan is a big draw himself, but other than that. And yes, the only other person who is a bigger draw than Brock Lesnar, in my opinion, is Daniel Bryan. But we'll talk about him more tomorrow. Hardy and Wyatt show up behind the Titus Worldwide because for the tag team match, winners of this match are Hardy and Wyatt. It's easy as it can be. So next week we will have the Revival versus Matt Hardy and Wyatt. The winners go to Saudi Arabia to face the Bar for the tag team titles, which I expect the Hardy and Wyatt team to win and go to Saudi Arabia and win the tag team titles, making Bray Wyatt one of the few, I believe, let me see, the only other man in the company to have held both the Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Is that if that's to happen, because that leaves him behind the New Day of Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, and Big E. Of course, they did it first. Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy win. That would make him the second person to do it, as they won the tag team titles with him in the trio of the Wyatt family with, of course, Randy Orton and Luke Harper. Zayn and Owens, winner gets a Raw contract. This is sad, this match was better than half of WrestleMania last night. The fact that these two put on a 3.5 star, maybe 4 star match that was just fucking great with a bad ending, but the match itself was was better than half of what we saw last night. Was better than the Raw Tag Team title match, better than Undertaker versus John Cena, better than Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, better than everything other than the triple threat match, the Ronda Rousey match, and the Daniel Bryan match. Everything else pale in comparison to this match tonight, and that's my opinion. You don't like it, don't at me. Owens uses LED post on the outside after a powerbomb attempt was blocked onto the apron. Zayn looks to go up top rope, but he is crotched by Owens, hits a Vader elbow drop for a 2 count, and he tries again twice for only a 2 count. Zayn, we come back from commercial break, and Zayn knocks Owens down, misses a splash. Zayn eats a super kick, and Zayn jumps over a pop-up powerbomb, hits a blue thunder bomb for a 2 count. A Luva kick attempt missed Owens. Owens rolls out of the ring. Zayn goes for the rope through DDT. That little jump through DDT he does, which gets hit with a super kick while he's laying there stunned. Kevin Owens hits a cannonball, then a frog splash, and only gets a 2. Clothesline in the corner twice by Kevin Owens, but Zayn hits a haluva kick, and Kevin Owens falls into the ropes. And this big, hefty man, Sami Zayn, is not going to be able to pull out of the ropes. Pop-up powerbomb to Sami Zayn, but Kevin Owens falls out of the ring. Pretty much, this match ends up being a no contest in the end. Haluva kick to Owens, who was on the top rope. Zayn goes up, but Owens grabs him and turns it into that fisherman suplex, like spinning fisherman suplex. The ref counts both men out, so neither one of these guys get a contract. I want to see how this is going to end. This will be interesting. As long as we don't have a rehash of the I Got Kids storyline with Heath Slater and Rhino from 2016, which I fucking hated every single moment of that. That was just boring television to me, but that's my opinion. Ooh, this was a good one. This was great, this next segment. In the back, Jeff Hardy, Finn Balor, and Seth Rollins are coming towards the ring to get ready for the match against the Miztourage. Okay. Jeff Hardy runs into his brother, Woken Matt. And this is just beautiful.
Ah, yes. Greetings, my sibling. It is delightful to see you. And I am so glad you have overcome your broken condition. Oh, I tried to call you, man. I actually left a message. I'm sure it accidentally got deleted. Of course. I knew you were preparing for Andre's Battle Royale of Giants. Yes, I was. And I won due to an all too familiar foe.
This is just beautiful right here. Bray Wyatt comes up.
Brother Nero.
And they have a nice little hug.
I'm so glad my brother rendered Sister Abigail obsolete! How are you feeling? I feel wonderful.
Seth and Finn Balor right there, watching this all.
What's that all about?
Jeff just shrugs his shoulders, puts, I think, some kind of gum in his mouth or something, and just walks off. That was absolutely wonderful. Just really awesome. I can't wait to see where they go with this with Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. Like I said, I see these two beating the Revival, who's going absolutely nowhere because they're a heel team. You want a heel versus heel team in Saudi Arabia, tag team match in Saudi Arabia. So Hardy and Wyatt are going to win. And somebody, please, give me a tag team name for these guys in the comment section below. I would love to know because they need a tag team name, and I would love to hear it. But next week, of course, they're going to win the match. They're going to go to Saudi Arabia on the 27th, which I will be watching and will be reviewing for this channel on Friday, April 27th. I cannot wait. But the Miztourage versus Balor, Hardy, and Rollins in a tag team match, a six-man tag team match. Usually don't make six-man tag team matches. We've seen enough of them with the women's division, and it's just going all hell in handbasket. But this was... It was an okay match. Miz tags in Axel, and the crowd seemed to be a little pro Axel tonight from the beginning. They just seemed like they wanted to see Axel and Bo Dallas both do well in this match. Double poetry in motions with assists from Rollins and Balor to Axel and Dallas back from the break, and Dallas gets control of Rollins for a second. Balor tags in, and he cleans house. Miz tags in when he has the advantage. Axel tags in after that and has control on Balor. Balor took the heat for the majority of this match, so not just typical Finn Balor stuff there. Dallas tags in and he drops knees to Balor. Balor jacks Dallas' jaw, tries to tag in someone, but Dallas stops him. Balor ends up hitting a back body drop. Miz tags in, and this one kind of is just like, I hate when they do this. Like, Miz tags in, Balor is literally just, he can just, like, get up and leap up and tag, but he's just sitting there, literally 2 inches away from somebody's fingertips, and he's just like, I can't get there, It just looked very fucking bad at this time. This looked bad at this time. Miz stops him, he knocks off Seth Rollins. Balor was able to battle away from Miz and tag in Hardy, who hits his leg drops on Axel's abs for a 2 count. Brother Nero chant. Michael Cole needs to just shut the fuck up about the entire Broken Universe because he's trying his best to bury that. I love Corey Graves doing everything to make it sound great because it is something different. He's all pro Hardy stuff. Michael Cole is definitely against it. It's probably the way they want him to say it, but it needs to just stop because this is something different for them. And the fact that you're going to try and have your lead commentator sit there and bury something that will help Monday Night Raw in the long run is just fucking stupid. Dallas tag in, and both he and Dallas, is whispering the win. Hardy tags in Rollins, Miz tags in, he tags in, and he eats a blockbuster. Suicide dives to Axel, back in, he sends Miz outside, and Suicide dive to the entire Miztourage. Ran it down, chance splash miss by Rollins as Miz goes to the top, but suplex into a Falcon Arrow for only a 2 count because Dallas breaks it up. I really, really hope sometime that this is becoming a new Blue Thunder Bomb as it was for Sami Zayn, because Sami Zayn never in his career until he beat, I believe it's in his career, I never followed him in the Indies, just how it is, but everyone said that until he actually beat AJ Styles with the Haluva kick into the Blue Thunder Bomb, the Blue Thunder Bomb has never ever won Sami Zayn a match. So this feels like this is going to be one of those things that he's going to do this for a long time, and then he's going to actually win the match with this. I'm hoping soon, sometime and down the road, because the Falcon Arrow, the superplex into the Falcon Arrow would be a beautiful finisher. Not all the time, just maybe that one time that you just don't see it coming. Oh, he's never beat anybody with that combo, but he continues to do it. Maybe sometime down the line in a big, huge championship match for the Intercontinental title, mind you, or if he's going for the WWE Championship or Universal title, suplex, Falcon Arrow, 1, 2, 3. It would just be, it'll blow up wherever the hell he does it, because that is just a beautiful combination that needs to win a match eventually. Let's see where we're at. Okay, Dallas breaks it up. Dallas eats a sling blade, Axel sent to the outside, then a dive over the ropes by Balor. I don't know exactly what they call it. Miz rolls up Rollins, but only a 2, and a blackout by Rollins for the win. So your winners were Balor, Hardy, and Seth Rollins. Post-match, Balor, Hardy, and Rollins, pretty much Dallas eats a twist of fate, coup de grace, swanton bomb, and a blackout. Curtis Axel eats a super kick, swanton bomb, a coup de grace, swanton bomb, and then a blackout to send the crowd home happy. After that, they go back up to the announce table and they hype up the Superstar Shakeup next week, which will change everything. I don't know if we're going to change. Well, of course, Corey Graves works both shows. Will we see Tom Phillips and Michael Cole switch? Who knows? Maybe. Maybe we'll see Byron Saxton come back to Raw and Coach go to SmackDown. Who knows? They did that last year with David Otunga and Byron Saxton, but yet David Otunga never ended up coming to Raw, and Booker T took over until Jonathan Coachman came around. Now, I don't know what's going to happen. We did not see Asuka, which I did not expect her to see her. We'll see her next week, and I'm pretty sure where we're going to see her at. We did not see John Cena, which a lot of people were probably miffed about. I expected him to show up and have some kind of speech, and we see him around SummerSlam time. We have so much more to see tomorrow. We'll probably hear words from Shinsuke Nakamura. Will he be on SmackDown from the Superstar Shakeup? Will this be Shinsuke Nakamura's last SmackDown? I do not know. Will this be AJ Styles, or anybody else's last SmackDown? We do not know. Will Kevin Owens, or Sami Zayn attempt to come to SmackDown tomorrow night? I do not know. There is a lot to look forward to. This will be interesting. Like I said, tonight was a mixed bag. There was the greatness of seeing Ember Moon and the AOP come up. There was the okay, we'll see who he goes with the No Way Jose. Will any of these guys have the success they did and feel special in NXT? Probably not. AOP already shed what made like a portion of them in NXT with Paul Ellering, which I think was a mistake. I would have gave him like a month with the AOP or something like that, and then maybe something happens and it's his fault and they do something like fire him then, not right away. I think that was a mistake, but we will have to wait and see. Next week is going to be a big week, but we will be back here on tomorrow. Then we're going to be here for Wednesday, and then Thursday I will have a Superstar Shakeup prediction show, pretty much. I'm just going to predict who's going to go to SmackDown, who's going to go to Raw, and if there's any word on who might be moving, I will bring that up. Of course, we will be here for Saturday for Unscripted, and of course, back here on Monday. We will talk about, the first thing I'll probably talk about on Saturday is a retard and what happened this past weekend to him, and while he is looking for a new job. We will talk about that in full on Saturday for Unscripted, and then of course back here next week for the Superstar Shakeup Part 1, 2, and the new NXT tapings to see what happens there. Until then, my name is The France. Find me on Twitter at The France. Find me on twitch.tv/TheFrance08, where I stream every single day. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, like this video, comment down below, letting you know what you thought of the Monday after Mania, the Raw after Mania. Was it a good show? Was it a bad show? Was it in between for you guys? And what's your thoughts on how Ember Moon, No Way Jose, and the Authors of Pain will do on Raw? And Bobby Lashley, Samoa Joe, and Jeff Hardy's returns. Till then, I will see you guys tomorrow for SmackDown after Mania. Until then, have a